Thank you very much. I'm Luca Leonardi, and on behalf of the project coordinator, Francesco Della Corte, I introduce this webinar. I would like to thank all the participants, the colleagues who organized this webinar, and the Broadway project that are together with us. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you very much. So our project NO-FEAR brings together a pan-European and beyond the network of practitioners, suppliers, decision and policymakers, with the goal to achieve a common understanding of needs and priorities, to fill operational gaps and to pinpoint areas for future research. Next. This is our partners from North Europe with Norway, to the south with Israel, and all the other good partners we have. Next, please. This is the framework of our project. We have three main pillars: acute care of the patient, operation and security related incidents, and training and education of personnel and volunteers, plus two horizontal activities. The one is devoted to ethical, human, and social and legal issues. And the second is the innovation monitoring and uptake plan, plus our two big network. The first is a practitioner and policymaker network, and the second is the suppliers and academia network. The project structure is through a 6-month cycle with workshops, exercise and demonstration that are intended to raise lesson learned, identify the trends with focus on new threats, then to find and to match with current and future solutions. What happened in the story of our project? We have the COVID-19 outbreak. We know the pandemic's response requires coordination and cooperation among practitioners, suppliers, research, and policymakers. The pandemic's response encompasses the three pillars and has a significant human and social and legal impact. And the timely exchange of lesson learned and good practice is fundamental. And research and innovation and operation are extremely independent one from another. And NO-FEAR was there to try to help solving the situation, or at least mitigate the situation within our network. In March 9, 2020, we decided to launch our webinar series to focus on COVID-19, aiming at involving its strong existing global network of practitioners involved first and in COVID-19 response, creating opportunity for quick and dirty exchanges of information, practices, and lesson learned, exploring how different countries responded to the same challenge in different stages of pandemics, not only in Europe, but around the world, for example, in USA and so on. This is an overview of our webinar series that reached the number of more than 50 webinars. Next. And that produce a big amount of activity. On one hand, improve the collaboration with our growing network of practitioners. We delivered a comprehensive report that is available online. For example, about the COVID-19 pandemic, we have at least more than 300 lessons observed. And also we produce an interesting joint paper together with other European project that did with CBRNE and so on. Next, please. And to finish, would like to underline our main 2022 activities. So for this year, our first meeting will be in presence on March 29th in Madrid, but we have also an hybrid session that is dedicated mainly to policymakers. We would like to invite you all, if you are a policymaker, if you know inside your network policymaker interested, you are welcome in our meeting in this lot from 12 to 13 on March 29th. Then we will have a full-scale exercise and workshop on training of personal volunteers in Novara in May. And in November, a standardization workshop in the Netherlands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Luca. May I introduce myself? I am Dr. Catherine Bertrand, and I work with Dr. Éric Le Carpentier in the pre-hospital emergency department in France, located nearby Paris. And I will share this presentation with Mrs. Claire Renal, and Claire Renal is introducing herself.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm part of the RRF program inside the Ministry of Interior in France. And I am a 4G and 5G core network expert. And I am as well a project manager regarding this RRF program.
So this presentation is made as part of the NO-FEAR European project Luca told us about, and relates on the ongoing work in place in France to deal with the public protection and disaster relief network for emergency services. I will start with some lessons learned from European projects, previous European projects. As we know, the goal of emergency services is to take care of victims without delay and to provide first responders with the highest safety. On this slide, you see the communication tools and features we need to protect our teams and care for the victims. All these tools have been tested during the exercises and demonstrations of the funded European projects on security research in the CBRN field in which we participated. As a reminder, in France, medical teams work in the pre-hospital setting with firefighters, police, the gendarmerie, and special forces. So we need effective exchange of information between each other and with headquarters. We will see that voice communication is not the sole way to exchange information. The IFREACT project I was a coordinator of gave me the opportunity to work jointly with subject matter experts, manufacturers, end users, decision makers, and I am glad we succeeded in creating PPE and overpressure hoods. You can see the one-size innovative overpressure hood on this slide. We provided affordable communication means, an air set and head-up display, enabling first responders to communicate between themselves and with headquarters. The headers display, you can see it on the right side of the slide. The headers display provides pictures and text to the first responders to communicate between themselves and with headquarters. The head-up display provides pictures and text to the first responders. They are useful to provide information on the time spent, for example, in a hostile area, and to send audible or silent alarms. The provision of user-friendly smartphones is a great step forward because we are generally not able to use or do well in a disaster situation, something we don't use on a daily basis. We need to have simple and straightforward communication without a steep learning curve. And this is very important. After IFREACT, We collaborated on other projects dedicated to Siberian risks, in particular Eden. We went to Chernobyl. It was an important experience for all of us to work in a real contaminated environment and to wear PPE with a permanent control of dose rates. The monitoring through individual dose rates worn by first responders in PPE enables first responders to be geolocalized and an alarm to be sent if the defined threshold dose is attained. Information transits via Bluetooth connection to a smartphone worn by the first responders and is sent to a generic ground station nearby. It is a great step forward in first responder protection and far better than dosimeters to be read later on. In some situations, we have time to deploy a bubble. It enables information sharing between special forces and EMS and to be prepared for an assault. It would have been a useful means in hostage situations such as the one in Vincennes. During the practice exercises, visual information was collected by UAV. Visual sources are objective, comprehensible, and related to time. To take decision at a distance from the event, we need to record video clips of people coming from the scene and to relay them to the headquarters. What were the lessons learned from the 12th November event in 13th November events in Paris? For these impact our way of understanding the suitability of our current communication tools. The Paris events occurred at night in a hostile and unpredictable environment since the attacks were carried out in multiple sites and with the ongoing threat of a second accident. What made it complex was having to deal with uncertain geolocalization, the impossibility of using laptops to tag and trace victims, the difficulty of using cell phones because the noise level, even so, the GSM network was working, and the difficulty of using sophisticated communication means. What I say is that these communication tools exist since 2012, and we had them in our demonstration and exercises. And we demonstrated their usefulness in improving the safety of EMS. So I think it is high time that these tools were available to us in France. And I pass the floor to Mrs. Claire Reynal.
Thank you. So we wanted to introduce the RRF network as a paradigm shift because we are moving from the narrowband networks, which is tetrapole, anti-res, pre-GSM technologies, voice-centric, and bulky tools. And we want to move to a totally interoperable, resilient network, which consists of 4G and 5G networks, transmission of voice data, videos, having smartphones, new devices, and using all of this with multimedia and mission critical applications. So let me explain you what is RRF, what we want to replace, where we're at. We are having right now in France different type of mobile network for different types of jobs, and we want to improve it. And the reason why we want to replace those legacy networks is, first, we want to increase the needs. There is a really increasing need for interoperability and data and video sharing. So I want to emphasize on that the growing operational needs expressed by French PPDR users is very present. And then we need to understand that those legacy networks we are using right now is ending because of license expiration and also lack of industrial support and maintenance. So the RRF will build a resilient network. This means, first of all, security. Talking about security, the RF core network, which is using 4G and 5G technology, will be hosted inside the data centers of the Ministry of the Interior. And this is a real need to keep our data safe. We are not using the data centers used by the mobile public operators. We will have our own specific data centers for our services. And the other aspect is our network will be built rapidly and economically, because we will connect our core network to the radio access network already existing and has been developed by our 4 French mobile national operators that you might know, like Orange, Bouygues, SFR, Free. So our network technically will be linked and connected to the antennas owned by the mobile operator, and the Ministry of the Interior will own the core network which is connected to it. We will have our dedicated SIM card for the police, the emergency services, for all of these types of operation professionals, and they will connect to our core network via the operators. And so we will provide PPDR teams with priority and preemption of data flows from the connection of the antennas to our core network. We also want to provide mission critical application. We do not want only to provide a regular phone call type. We want to provide more push to talk application, mission critical video, telehealth, telemedicine. And so multi-PPDR users can discuss, exchange files, videos with robust user-friendly smartphones and tablets. I would like to emphasize on the interoperability need. So our network will be used by many professionals, many forces. As you can see, it will be used by the police, by the emergency services, the firefighters, also national strategic operators like underground operators, railway operators, airports, and between affairs and headquarters beyond the department. It would be also a nationwide network beyond the borders. And so interoperability is really important and between forces, and this removes silos of legacy systems. To talk a little bit more about reliability, resilience, security, and this is a scheme, a diagram of our entire architecture of our network. So you can see like antennas in the middle and devices that we will own, and we also can extend our coverage, even though we will be using the coverage of the mobile network operator. We will be using as well cell on wheels, rapid development units, on-demand coverage, meaning like bubbles or backpack. And also we will provide indoor solution and also satellites. All of those coverage will be used in order to have more than 100% of coverage on the territory. All right, I would like also to introduce to you all the different projects that has been developed just as the RRF in France. And so many public safety operators have been developed worldwide. And I wanted to introduce it to you as FirstNet in America, SafeNet in Korea, BDBOS in Germany, and Astrid in Belgium. All of those networks in the world have the same goal, obviously, like providing public safety services. And we are not all going at the same speed of development, but we can find like some similar technology, similar thoughts. And for example, in France, we will be using the national operator coverage. In America, they will be using only one operator coverage, and they will own their own frequency. In another country, Korea, they will be as well as us using the network coverage, but they will use more bands, especially in the railway network and maritime network. And regarding BDBOS in Germany and Astrid, they are still using Tetra technology to communicate, but are really planning to migrate their solution just as us, but it will be a little bit later. And also I wanted to present you that we have the same thought of ad hoc coverage for survivability. So we are all thinking of providing cell on wheels, cell on light trucks, and satellite communication just to enhance our coverage. We all also are working on the same type of priority mechanism and public safety application. And at the end, it will be a service developed for police, emergency, firefighters. We all have our idea of who wants to use this safety network. And it seems like we are going into the same direction. And what is really interesting regarding this global exercise is that we can like use our thought of improvement. We can like share our experiences, lesson learned, and to get a better global relation between countries. So it's really important for all of us to really collaborate and talk about our proof of concept and exchange our ideas regarding the public safety networks. And for example, nowadays, we are more and more talking about intelligence artificial and big data. So if everybody provides their information, their own inputs on what is happening, all of these data can serve to a model to increase intelligent decision and prediction. So all of these data collected around the world can be really relevant and useful to predict accidents. Now I'm going to talk about 5G, the benefits and use cases. So the 5G will bring, as you all know, new opportunities for emergency application, thanks to his higher data throughput in indoor and outdoor compared to 4G. And it will bring also a better architecture for massive machine type communication. It is enhanced, and compared to 4G network, that 5G has a better latency communication. So it means that you will interfere quickly and to your application than compared to 4G. And 5G is also based on an edge cloud architecture, and which allow faster response for the user equipment. So as an example, I wanted to introduce you to one use case that can be like easily understood and applied for emergency services. Take the example of an ambulance having a patient and a doctor inside and doing an ultrasound with a probe. But of course, the machine, the ultrasound, is not inside the ambulance because it's too heavy to carry and too expensive. So the ultrasound machine will be in the cloud. And what the prod is sending inside the ambulance is sending the raw data to the cloud using the 5G network. So the machine, the ultrasound machine located in the cloud will transform the raw data into medical images that can be sent straight in real time to hospitals. So doctor in remote can analyze in real time what is going on and give advice to the person and the doctors inside the ambulance, so what he should do and where he should go. And the last slide is to explain you what you can embed inside this ambulance, all of these captors, sensors, devices that can be used in real time on site when there is a patient in need. And all those data can be like sent in real time to the network and transfer into the hospital to get a better analysis and in an efficient time. So thank you for your attention. And if you have a lot of questions, yeah, you can question. And yes,
I had a question, Claire. What about medical data? Are you allowed to do this? Or
are you talking about HDS? Okay, yes. Oh, yeah. All of this data can be done, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Claire. So maybe you have some questions, or if not, I don't see anything in the chat. If not, I would like to pass the floor to Sanja and to know more about the Broadway project.
Il y a une question sur le chat.
Okay, there is one question.
Okay. Discussion, okay.
Okay. Where would be stored private company of public institute?
I can answer the other question. Dosimeter? Dosimeter in the Eden project was connecting to the cloud? No. It was connected only to the ground station nearby. Okay, and I let you answer the other question. Who and where would you store the data? Private company of.
C'est nos data centers.
C'est le core network in the ministry.
Yeah. So the core network and the mission critical applications are located inside the data centers of Ministry of Interior. After, if you're talking about medical applications, they will be stored inside the data center of hospital, I guess.
Does it answer your question? Okay. When did you have?
Okay, when did you have 7 MHz auction, and did you put some requirement for PPDR like PPP? Okay, we provide 700 MHz bandwidth with our cell on wheels, and we will wait a little bit if we are allowed to use this frequency. But right now we are using most of the time on the territory. We're using the frequency of the mobile network operators, 4G and 5G, and the 7 MHz will be used on cell on wheels to extend that coverage. Did you put some requirement for? International roaming. Okay, yeah. Like there will be national roaming among two operators. There will be also international roaming. And did you put some requirements for PPD like QPP? I don't know what is QPP.
People from Spain regarding resilience.
So, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So yeah. QPP, quality, priority, and preemption. So I'm asking, how did you achieve quality, priority, and preemption? Did you put in the auction for the 700, or is it special law you have? So how do you achieve this?
We achieve this with parameter inside the SIM card, inside with cooperation with the mobile networks, because we are connected to the antennas, and we will set it up inside our core network. Okay. So priority is based first on SIM card. So
okay, this is technical part, but you know, was it? Is there any law that actually provides you this with the operators, or there is option that you put this in auction for 700 where you actually demand from the operators?
No, for priority there is nothing regarding with the law. We have a deal with the mobile network operator.
Okay, thanks.
Pablo, Spain, regarding resilience.
Okay, is the network will be the same as public mobile? Yes, regarding radio technology 4G and 5G, it will be the same. The only difference is that with preemption and priority, in case of congestion, we will be prioritized. All the police and emergency services will be prioritized, and also the data flow will be preempt. No Huawei. Okay, no Huawei. Okay, would this be Huawei based? Of course not. Legal regulations, are there some?
Oui, the French regulation for this. The police and the civil organization in civil protection do not work with the same frequencies to collaborate. C'est les pompiers, la police, tout ça ont des fréquences différentes. Donc, il y aura une...
Yeah, but yes, but we will provide mobile phones, we will provide a SIM card, and so like firefighters or police will use the same frequency, the same network.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you very much, Claire. Sylvia, as I pass you the floor.
Yes, thank you. Let me share. Do you see?
Yes, perfectly, Sylvia.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. My name is Sanja Hollen, and I'm involved in the Broadway project as the chair of technical validation committee. And I will give you an update. Where are we? Where are we going? What is our goal? And so on. Okay, so I hear background noise. Do you? The rest of the team?
No, it's okay.
I'm muting them for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I'm inviting you actually to go on our website where you will see very nice animation. So on this first picture in the middle, you see the map of Europe, and you see different PPDRs of different disciplines in different European countries. So this is the situation we have. Each country has different disciplines of PPDRs. In the bottom, you see 3 pictures. On the first picture on the left, from the left, you see actually situation as it is, let's say now. So each country has Tetra or Tetrapol or P25 network, which is standalone network. You know, we are aware that only few interoperabilities are implemented ISIs in the Nordic countries. So really limited interoperability between the networks. And actually, it's a good on the national level, but if we bring it to the pan-European level, we have definitely a problem of interoperability. In the middle picture, you see actually that all those networks are actually changing to the same network, to the LTE network, which actually is helping us to achieve pan-European operational mobility. I will explain what this term operational mobility is. Operational mobility is the term which we use in Broadway. It actually is a solution which allows PPDRs to operate wherever they are, whenever they need to, and to whom they need to speak. So you see in the middle picture that all those antennas, so all narrowband networks are, I must say that the time run over them. So eventually they cannot provide what actually we need, more data. So they will switch to the, let's say, to the LTE networks. And on the right, last picture on the right, you see one big antenna. So we are not building one network, one big network across Europe, but all those networks in the middle picture has to act like one network. We are often asked, as my colleague mentioned in the presentation before, are we like FirstNet? No, and there are 2 reasons why not. First of all, we don't have a spectrum dedicated, and the second one, we don't have one operator across Europe. So this is the goal of the Broadway project. So all those national mission critical networks should be possible. They should be possible to be connected, and they should act like one, providing operational mobility for all PPDR users. So just the background of the Broadway project. So you see on the left, it was BroadMap project. It was a 1-year project where we actually investigated what are those features that PPDRs need in the future, actually what are they lacking at the moment. And of course, the biggest 2 findings were interoperability, lack of interoperability, and the second one was actually data. So on the narrowband networks, they have perfect voice communication, but if we come to data, there is only small amount of data which can be transferred through narrowband networks. And then we, so the BroadMap actually set the, let's say, the stones for the Broadway. So Broadway, it's actually pre-commercial procurement, PCP, which consists of 3 phases: design, prototype, and pilot. And in Broadway project, we actually took those findings from BroadMap, and we concentrated on the pan-European solution for the Broadway. It covers networks, applications, and devices. So as you can see, we are nearly, this today line is almost at the end. So we are now in the 3rd phase of the PCP, pre-commercial procurement, which is the pilot. And the conclusion of the Broadway is planned for September this year. On the right, you also see something which is called BroadNet. So BroadNet is actually a continuation, I would say, of the Broadway project, where we will explore legal, financial, regulatory aspects to achieve a sustainable organization who will actually govern this, let's say, this big network of networks. So just to remind you who are the partners in our Broadway project. So we have 11 ministries or delegated agencies in 11 EU member states responsible for public safety mobile communication in their country. So there it is Astrid for Belgium. Then we have Spain, Estonia, Finland, Romania, Greece, the Netherlands, Italy, Ireland, Czech Republic, and France. Public Safety Communication Europe is a coordinator. We have legal advisor, which is Bird and Bird. And you see we have Bavarian Red Cross, which is a practitioner validation lead team. And regarding practitioner evaluation, it is very important for Broadway, and it is led by Bavarian Red Cross. So Bavarian Red Cross will lead practitioners from the Broadway partners, but also external practitioners. You see all those are in blue on this map. And they will have opportunity in the pilot to evaluate the solution. So they will use solution in the real environment trials, and their opinion is very much appreciated, as they are the ones who should use this solution sometimes in the future. So we have 11 buyers, and they actually represent 1.4 million European responders across those 11 countries. So if you are not part of the practitioner evaluation team, I'm inviting you to join us, as we need more practitioners who will, as I said, evaluate the solution. This is very important for us, and please go to our website and just register for practitioner evaluation team. We have telcos where we inform our practitioners in which stage we are, you know, what are future steps. We also communicate with practitioners what can they offer for the trials, as those trials are real operational environmental trials. So if you are interested, please join us. Just regarding objectives which we have in Broadway. So if you see, this is actually, those are puzzles. And if you see, the pan-European operational mobility is actually a board where you put the puzzles. So everything has to fit. We have some pan-European objectives. So there are SpiceNet governance, which actually will determine the whole process of achieving the BroadNet coverage and the BroadNet solution. Then we have a pan-European architecture, pan-European availability, and pan-European security. We have ecosystem, its application, device, and innovation. Of course, we want standardized solutions. Technical validation. Technical validation is something that, so all those features which will present suppliers, we want that technical validation actually proves those features. So we have separate technical validation, and of course we have practitioner evaluation and acceptance, which I said before, it's practitioners who will evaluate the final solution. So scope of Broadway solutions to enable operational mobility. So what is actually the scope? So RAN, radio access sharing on commercial mobile. So this is on the national level, but we also need on the pan-European level, mobile and service roaming. Then maintaining mission critical service. So quality, priority, and preemption are very important for us, as we will use the networks which use citizens. And if there is some situation where there are lots of users on the base station, PPDRs must have priority and preemption. In that way, they can continue their service, and otherwise it's not going to happen that PPDRs are useful to the citizens. Of course, seamless continuity of service is very important as we cross the borders, as PPDRs cross the border. If there is some urgent issue, there shouldn't be loss of service. So this is also one very important idea for the Broadway project. Of course, standardized mission critical services. So we are interested in standardized solution for MCPTT, MC video, and MC data. Of course, access to other information sources are very important. Harmonized security. So we know we will manage different organizations from different domains, different countries, and we actually have to achieve that PPDRs trust to the system they use. So this security is also very important for that. Of course, ecosystem of devices, applications, and of course, any further innovations are also in the scope of the Broadway solution. So as I said, we are now in a phase 3. Phase 3 began in October 2021. So the goal is to have live TRL, technology readiness level 8 pilot system. And as I mentioned before, operation mobility as a service. So PPDRs can work wherever they are, whenever they are, and with whom they need to. We have two teams. So two consortia we have in pilot, so Airbus and Frequentis. So each of those teams have their own solution, but we wanted, as solution has to be standardized, we said that we want cross-connected solutions. So solution of Consortium A will be cross-connected to the mission-critical server of Consortium B and vice versa. So this is very important for us that we see that actually this standardization is in place. Of course, not everything is standardized, but our consortium, both consortia, are doing their best to find a way to do those cross-connected solutions. Pilots will be in June, July. So during June, July, our practitioners will evaluate solutions. So as I said, it will be pan-European roaming all over Europe. And the areas where we will have mission critical access, as we have two teams, Airbus and Frequentis. So areas are the Netherlands, France, Latvia, Slovenia, and Spain. So again, we need to highlight that we are preparing for BroadNet already now. So as we can see, technical solution, we really have high confidence that it is achievable, and also cross-connecting is achievable between two teams. So BroadNet governance, we are starting to prepare it, I think, from the next month, from March 2022. As we need to explore different options. So as I said, for technical solution, we have confidence, but now we need to explore legal, financial, and regulatory policy and political view in the BroadNet. Again, everything is towards operational mobility. Okay, just a slide which explained what Broadway and BroadNet is. So Broadway and BroadNet is interconnection of national mission-critical mobile networks. So each country will have their mission-critical solution, and we actually need to achieve that all those networks can be connected. And if you remember from the first slide, so there is a big antenna across Europe. So we are not building one big network, but all those networks has to be connected and has to act like one network. So we will then achieve operation mobility capability, and of course, trustworthy and secure mobile communication with mission critical service levels. So on technical view, international mission critical service roaming has to be in place. And of course, QPP, quality, priority, and preemption, same as home. So if PPDRs are somewhere else than in a home network, they should have mission critical access. So provision of mission critical standardized services. We want to move away from vendor locked applications, and of course we need for MCPTT, MC video, and MC data. So allowing applications to be built to use mission critical service levels. What Broadway and BroadNet is not, it's not a replacement for any existing information exchange technology, application, or process. It's not a replacement for existing radio technologies. National systems are expected to implement interworking. So it enables evolution. While member states prepare national mission critical capability, we need to keep up with the Gs. We shouldn't be stuck at 2G. So at the moment, our narrowband networks actually provide 2G service, as there is a voice and really limited data like SMS. And developing mission critical capable application ecosystem. One thing which is very important for us, in June 2021, there was a council conclusion on protection of public spaces, where was, this is from this document, and I will just read: the importance of secure operational and EU interoperable communication for law enforcement agencies and other security practitioners to be able to properly protect and respond in case of cross-border cooperation in the area of public spaces and major events, and invites member states to further support EU initiatives aiming at the improvement of existing systems and EU-wide interoperable communication systems for public safety, public security, notably the Horizon 2020 Broadway project. So this is very important for us, as Broadway project is cited here. And as I said, we are already in March 2022, so next month we are starting BroadNet preparation. So what are those legal, financial, regulatory issues, political issues that we need to cover in a way that we will ensure BroadNet as a stable organization who will handle the future pan-European operational mobility communication. Also, one more task from European Investment Bank study. So in this year, we will have European Investment Bank study. They will actually explore financial supports towards BroadNet. This is also very important, as it will actually provide insight how this can be funded on the national level and of course on the pan-European level. Okay, that is all from my side. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.